Everybody just finished Season 3, Episode 5 of The Mandalorian. Okay, things are moving. Things are happening. All right, and I got super excited this episode for a number of different reasons. One, things are moving and things are happening, okay? Two, Grief Karga, Carl Weathers, isn't he a joy? Isn't he great? Not only a wonderful actor, but great director. I really liked his episode last week. This one was directed by Peter Ramsey, I believe, and I really did enjoy it. So, a couple of things. There was a weird edit with our New Republic Ranger, and when he was talking to Din Djarin, there was like a weird cut during one of the dialogue pieces, so maybe they didn't get the right line and they had to kind of cut that in or whatnot, but I was like, whoa, that took me out of it for a second. Other than that, loved so much of the action and the pacing, and despite a little bit of the clunky dialogue that we're getting here, again, I think that all the scripts for every episode need one more draft to go through, one more round, one more rewrite, and I think it would take care of some of the clunky stuff. Excuse me. Anyways, so the evolution of Bo-Katan and how I really liked this ending with the armorer, right? And the idea of understanding the world that they live in and that she is able to remove her helmet and work in both worlds. And the armorer realizing, like, if we want to restore our people, we have got to do something different other than keep hiding. And I really liked how the big Mandalorian dude, I think his last name's Vizsla, I forget, but I loved his speech because he owed Din and Bo-Katan for saving his son. And that was a very heartfelt, hey, we are Mandalorians, we're going to go in and fight, and we're going to help these people in Navarro. And to feel the real threat of the pirates and Grief Karga trying to do the right thing and lead his people and save them and get them out of there, I could really feel that. So I could feel the emotional beats. And in particular, I could feel the emotional beats because of the conversations. People talking in a room or people talking on, the vid screens. I mean, this is classic Star Wars. This is Princess Leia with this message that Luke sees for the first time. And he's like, she's beautiful, But that emotional beat of people talking in a room, that is how we're going to feel for these characters. That's what's going to be memorable, is when they're talking in a room, and some of the big battles, which was fun. I really enjoyed the drop-in of the Mandalorians. I liked how everybody had their role. I liked how they worked as a tight unit, how Din had his part of the plan. Then you had Bo's and everybody else, and the armorer going in and kicking some butt as well. Enjoyed the evolution and incorporation and the unity of the Mandalorians in this episode, and that's why I feel we want more of. We need to get past this internal turmoil and fighting, because we've already been through that in the previous seasons. We've now seen the evolution of the armorer realizing that you need to take off your helmet in order to get things done and to unite the people. And for all of them to see Bo-Katan with her helmet off, and for the tribe to realize that this is the armorer's decision because she's walking with her and going, she's going to walk in both worlds, okay? We have got to evolve. I wanted, in that scene, I wanted the armorer to take off her helmet as well and have Emily Swallow be there, the actress that portrays the armorer via voice. I'm not sure if she does the in-person performance as well, but if she does, either way, great work. And always great to see Brendan Wayne and Lateef Crowder in there as well, because they're in the suit a lot of the time doing all the movement or the stunts, and you still got that Din Djarin swagger, which is great. I think Brendan Wayne really made that come alive. I've been watching a number of interviews with him that have been really fascinating. I particularly like this story about how when they wanted him to come in for I think it was a screen test or a rehearsal, he's like, I got to take my kid to college, and he didn't want to give up that experience of taking, his kid to college for that first day or going with them. And I thought that's such a Mandalorian thing to do. He was already embodying the character before he was the character officially via contract. So that's a really good interview. That's over on the Christian Harloff channel. I think it's the Sith Council. If you bring it up or search Brendan Wayne, that interview is there. So highly recommend it. If I have time, I'll try to add it in the description below or in the comments, but I got to go live. I'm supposed to be live right now playing Fortnite. So we're going to wrap things up here. Grogu had some cool moments, but Grogu just felt like, okay, kid, you're part of the group. You're in my lap, but you're watching what we're doing. You're in the mix. You're in danger. Din was in danger, man. Those pirate ships, Din's going to make it, but those pirate ships were on his butt, man. So for Grogu to be in that fight, but for it not to be made like a big deal, felt like, okay, this kid's evolving. He's part of the fight now. So that's what we want out of this show. I feel we really want evolution. We want to take things into the next step. Now, talking about that scene with Tim Meadows. Great to see Tim Meadows, another SNL alum. But I forget his name off the top of my head. But our Ranger from the Delta Phi Ranger Squad, who I'm so thrilled to see on camera every time, but also for him to have these emotional beats with Tim Meadows' character, with our spy, and, for him to say, there's something bigger going on here, okay? All these things happening, and then I hear Moff Gideon didn't make it to his trial. It's like, okay, this guy is sharp, and he is exposing why the old Republic fell and why the new Republic got wiped out by the First Order. Because they're ineffective, man. It's just a huge bureaucracy, and it's tough. It's really fascinating when you're the rebels. It's easy, right? You just got to fight against the system. But then when you are the system, how do you govern properly? And I always thought that's such a rich tapestry of storytelling in the New Republic, especially what is the role of the Jedi now in the New Republic? How do we make sure that they're not corrupt and that they were, those powers of the Force used against them in the dark side, which was Darth Sidious. Anyways, I just feel that there's a lot of great moral conundrums and the difficulty of governance that can be told in the New Republic story that goes beyond just cool fights with lightsabers and space battles, but really establishing that difficulty so that you can feel there's a lot more to fight for. And I think that's what Andor did so well. Andor has done so well. If you haven't watched Andor, I highly recommend it. It's funny when you saw all the different shows that were coming up from Lucasfilm, and I was like, Andor? Nobody asked for that. And now that it's been out, it is absolutely phenomenal. And I'll tell you one of the big reasons why. Beau Willimon. Beau Willimon was the writer for a very popular show on Netflix. I'll let you look it up. But I also went and saw my first ever Broadway play starring Uma Thurman and Josh Lucas. It was called The Parisian Woman. It was a modern-day update of a classic story, I believe. And Beau Willimon was the writer, and I complimented him on Twitter on how much I really enjoyed the show. And it was really, really good. And he liked it on Twitter. I was like, yeah, cool. So when I saw his name pop up in the credits of Andor, I thought, that's why the writing is so good. The writing is very, very good, especially from multiple sides. How the Empire is portrayed as snappy, get it done, but because there's so much trying to one up each other and climb that ladder of perfection that that's why it was too stressful. But Andor talks about that too, of why tyranny can't work because it continually has to be in overdrive to crush people. So good. Star Wars has good stuff, folks. Just unfortunately, it just keeps stumbling over itself. And I feel that Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are doing a really phenomenal job. I think there's a lot of pressure from the brand, from Disney, from launching a streaming service, Mandalorian, the first original show that was on Disney Plus, that these scripts are not giving the time that they need to settle, simmer, and then find some of the pitfalls or things that could be a little bit better. Okay, I think that's just my ultimate critique for the show. Everything else, everybody's giving 110%. And seeing all the Mandalorians work together and seeing some progress with our characters, seeing some minds opened up, made me legitimately excited. I was shouting at the screen, man. So come on, Mandalorian. Stick the landing. Let's get a home run here at the very end, and let's see some consequences and furthering of the story. Okay? All right, Grogu, we in? Yeah, Grogu's in. Okay, everybody, thanks so much. I'm live right now with Fortnite. You can check me out Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Pacific time. I'm live. I'll see you online. Bye-bye.